Hey everyone, Stegar here and welcome back to Hunterville. In today's episode we're going to be working on some rural road layouts, and I just wanted to do this to kind of create a basis for how the road layouts in the city are going to be in the future. Here I'm starting on one of the main bridges that will cross the river and lead from the city into some area on the other side, as well as just out into the countryside. There will be other bridges along crossing over the river, and there will be a highway bridge as well as just another regular road bridge. But here I'm stretching right out to the edge of the map and making the connections so that cars can drive to the city from the edge of the map, I guess. And I was using the unlimited outside connections mod to allow basically all these roads so they can go out when you're usually limited to 4 in the base game, and here I was just creating a little intersection with one of those new roads there. And working on these other roads, and they will just kind of form the layout for where farmland could be. I don't know how much of this will end up being city, but I mean, it's just a general layout to kind of get an idea of how the roads would be if this was all still farmland, and at some stage in the past it would have been all farmland. And here I'm just placing down some of the network rivers by Mac Welshman, and just using them to add a bit more sort of detail and also give me something to work around when I do start building suburbs out on the side of the river. There'll probably sort of be like a soft city limit as well, like the city might only extend to the edge of one of these streams and just kind of not go beyond there because there's space elsewhere that the city could have grown out from. And also putting some over by the large mountain too, kind of on the other corner of the map. And yeah, in this episode we're mainly just working on like one side of the city because kind of that's all I had the motivation to do, and also like by the end of this I felt this episode kind of there was enough here to create like a full 20-minute episode from the footage I had, so I didn't really choose to do any more. And there with those rivers I kind of had 2, and I think they were like the 16-meter ones, and then when they merged I used like the 28-meter one to kind of have it so that the river is getting wider as more tributaries join in and stuff. And here I was just working with where the rivers were and upgrading some of the roads so that they had bridges, as well as raising the roads up a bit so that there's actually some clearance over the rivers in case they like flood, or you know, a log floats down the river. You don't want that heading into the bridge because that wouldn't be good for the structural stability of that bridge or whatever. And here just doing some stuff with water sources. I think I cut a lot of that stuff out because it's honestly not that interesting and a very awkward process to actually get it to work how you would expect it to, as it kind of takes a bit of trial and error to get it to work at the end of those rivers there. And here my sort of thinking was just place the roads down so that they clip over each other and use the electric road tool to merge the intersections where the roads are overlapping, rather than trying to like get the direction right and have it go into one road when it's heading towards another road. And here I'm just like placing down some sort of like windy mountain road, as this area is quite mountainous. You can see that I've got the topographic lines on, although it is a bit hard to see with the trees there, but I mean it's a bit easier to see in game, I guess, when I don't know what I'm talking about. It's about the same, but I mean you can notice it if you're looking for it. And yeah, I was just kind of trying to consider how the topography was and how the roads would interact with that, as well as trying to make sure that they aren't too steep. And here just more roads forking off going to various places. I think this one is just meant to like go down the other side of this hill and join up with this road, or just like go off the edge of the map or something. Oh no, this one goes down quite steep. I guess it just connects up with some farms or something that might be out here. I probably will never detail out this far of the map because it's like behind one of the hills and would never be seen from like the city area, so I probably won't touch it. But I'm just trying to have plenty of different ways that vehicles can go through. I also downloaded a mod that allows you to change how many of vehicles come in each entrance, because with these roads, even though they're supposed to be quiet little country roads, there was a fair amount of traffic coming along these, and it was causing some serious issues, let's just say that much, in terms of vehicles wanting to go through the map and wanting to visit the city, which just caused utter chaos at some of the intersections, as well as some of the other rural ones that I build later in this episode. But yeah, just more roads and stuff. I think soon we might move on to doing some rail line stuff. I'm not sure how far away that is, but I think it's just after we finish up here. And here I was kind of having some trouble with the elevations and things, and you can see that there's quite a bit of steep stuff along here. And yeah, here's where we're starting on the railway line. I tried to keep this reasonably flat, like a 1% gradient mostly, and it just kind of follows along beside this road. And I do a whole lot of stuff with either Move It or the Electrics Road tool to make sure that the slopes are reasonable, and also that they're consistent throughout large lengths of the train track, so that it doesn't appear too wonky and stuff, although there are a few spots where there's some nodes that don't look quite right. And also I'm using the Railway Replacer mod for all of this, so that the train tracks look a lot better than the vanilla ones. And also you get all these bridges here, and I'm just testing out a few to try and work out which one I actually want, and also just kind of trying to change things with the nodes so that the arches are a bit longer than what they could have been. And that took me a little bit of time to work out. I think I removed basically all of them and just kind of eyeballed it by adding nodes in halfway in between. So I think there's about 4 segments in that whole bridge, and the arches just kind of under there, and nice and evenly spaced, so that it looks somewhat realistic. And here I was just connecting all this up. I sort of do some tweaking with the road and heights and things, so that there's an overpass here, but you'll see that shortly. As you can see, there's quite a bit of height difference currently by that road intersection where the railway line goes under the road, and that changes. And here I was just creating the straight segments and then using them as a guide to how to create the curve there. And yeah, you can see that overbridge has been put in now. And yeah, here's a little I think it's a truss bridge that I end up putting here that just kind of goes over this little stream. And I also used the elevated sections from the Railway Replacer mod to kind of create the approach to the bridge, so that it doesn't cause the terrain to change and stuff. And here just putting a road along the side of the railway line, so that I guess farms in this area could access get access from this road. And here's a little intersection. I'm thinking of putting an outlying town around that area, and sort of just having it be an outlying town that might be connected up with the metro network that we've got going on in the city. But here you can see with these roads and the fact that people drive on the left in this save, that particular railway crossing prop wasn't really lining up the right way. And here we're moving out of even further away from the city onto the other side, and also changing things with this intersection a bit, and basically rerouting the road so that it meets at a T here. And I think I changed things further and put a few flyover ramps because the traffic was just that bad there that it needed it, but that's only temporary, and I'll probably put a proper interchange in there when we actually extend out the city that far. Or if we do, I don't really know how much I'm actually going to get done in this series, because I have a very ambitious goal for what I want to get done, but I don't know how long I'll actually be motivated to work on this for. Hopefully a very long time, and I see this being a series that could go on for 80 episodes quite easily, but At that point, I fear that I might have just had enough of the city, or the save broke, or I just stopped playing City Skylines in general by that point, because that's probably going to be like 2 years away, because I'll have some like other series mixed in between that running concurrently, because I don't want to put like all my eggs in one basket with the series, and want to do some different stuff as well. Like my current series Hunterville, that's currently sort of on the road to completion, and I only really have a few more episodes left of that. I mean, I've recorded 2 more since the ones that I've already published, but I can see that that's only got like another 2 episodes to go after those 2 that I've recorded, or maybe like 4 or something. I'll find something else to build, but I know it's coming to an end, and I'm really looking forward to actually finishing that city, because it started at a time where I had no clue really as to how to detail in this game, and some of the inner parts of that city look a bit sort of newbie vanilla sort of style. I mean, it's not all that bad, but I mean, this city is a lot better, even though it was only like a few months between starting my Fairview series and starting this series, but I'd learnt a lot in that time, and I feel like this city is a lot better. And also I put in like a lot more effort to learn how to use procedural objects and stuff in this series as what I had in Fairview originally. Anyway, I should stop talking about Fairview. It's got nothing to do with this episode, but you know, I'm just saying what my mind is thinking right now. Yeah, here we're just sort of extending out and doing some more bridges and stuff. I think this road sort of goes along in between the main river and one of the like hills or like mountain ranges or something, and is basically the only road in this area, so it needed to be here, and it also needed that little bridge to get across the river. And yeah, soon we're going to move over to like another side of the city and just extend out this road here quite a way. I mean, this sort of goes up into like this windy hairpin road that's pretty horrible, but in between here there's a lot of flat ground. I might even put the airport out here because it's just that flat. I mean, as you can see, there's like a lot of not even trees and stuff here, so it's just a good space in general to work with, and it's very flat, as I've said like 3 times already. But yeah, here's where I'm actually trying to work with this road. You can't really see it go up onto the hill, but it's quite sort of bendy when you get up to what's on the right of where we're looking right now. And here this was also quite steep, so I was just trying to make it gentle and use the slope tool with the electrics mod to make sure it wasn't like too much for trucks and things to handle. I mean, road slopes can tend to be a lot more forgiving than railway slopes. Like 5 or 10% isn't as bad for trucks and vehicles and stuff than what like 2% would be for trains. So I mean, a heavy cargo train with like 1 locomotive is going to require a lot of power to get up a steep hill, whereas a little truck probably not so much. Yeah, and here just extending out more roads. I'm trying to keep them relatively straight, as I feel like it's the easiest way to do things on a flat area where there's not really any topography to force the roads to be anything other than straight. And yeah, here just connecting up from the other side and making this road basically lead from that intersection up the top. Or I mean, it will be an intersection right now, it's just like a sharp corner, but it basically leads into the other road that we were building. And this one that I'm building right now, I'm not sure if I'll keep this last little bit, but I feel like where it forks off from the other road will be an interesting place within the city to build something from. And here, yeah, just more straight roads, and basically what could be large blocks of farms, but most of this will probably end up being suburbs and at one point in the past it could have been farms and stuff. And here is the main road that comes out of what we've already built, and it needs to go up this steep hill, which is a bit of a challenge and ends up in some windy sort of mountain climb thing that goes up here. You've probably noticed that there's no highways in the city yet. I mean, I'm really trying to hold off on them for as long as possible, as I want the inner city highway to sort of interact a lot with road layouts that will already be there, and to do that I actually need to do some inner city road layouts and stuff. Yeah, I won't touch on really any of the highway stuff in this episode, other than putting one underground and very hidden with a few really ugly tunnel entrances that get to it so that the traffic actually flows. But yeah, I mean, it's just there to function and alleviate some of the traffic off what would be these tiny little rural roads that can't really handle all the traffic coming into the city. And I know that because I have had traffic problems in the past with the like 1 or 2 highway exits that I had previously. You would have seen me delete them at the very start of the episode, but here we're just working on some of the road layouts for the next episode, which I'm basically going to fill out like half of this area with suburbs and probably finish that off in the episode after that. I mean, I've recorded the next episode, but that won't be out for like 3 weeks or something, as I want to work on Fairview a bit more and release those. As I think I said before, I had 2 episodes recorded, and I just want to release those and finish off the series. But here I'm trying to keep some space between the river and the roads and stuff, as I feel like you could fill these up with a lot of trees and things rather than having houses right up against the river. I was also doing some flying around Google Earth trying to understand how sort of suburbs and rivers interact, and there seem to be a fair bit of like trees and stuff in between there. Yeah, we're going to finish this off those very soon and then move into a live play, and I'll just kind of show you around as well as show you the hidden highway that I've created. So the first thing I wanted to show you in this live play is the underground highway. This is just temporary, but it gets the job done and is kind of helping me to plan out where the actual highway layout will be. I think this highway will kind of come around the edge of the hillside and join into an interchange here, and there'll be another highway that comes down here and has a interchange with this road, roughly where that one is sort of, and then continue out to this side of the city somewhere. And then continuing on from whichever highway comes down here, it'll probably come under the suburb somewhere, and there'll be a bridge here after it tunnels under all the stuff that we've already built and go out to the side of the city and sort of just do its own thing. I haven't really thought about what's going to be going on the side of the city apart from we'll have if my camera doesn't want to like flick up for some random reason, but we'll probably have the city's university or one of the city's universities around here, and this will be made a bit nicer. I mean, this is just really temporary. As you can see, there's a whole lot of glitchiness going on here that isn't so great, but when we do build this out properly, we'll have full interchange here, and that will serve as like one of the main roads through the city. But yeah, I mean, you can see a lot better now than what you could in time-lapse as to like all the road layouts and stuff that we've built so far, as well as the mountains. Since the edge fog's turned off, you can see it a lot more clearly, and also over here these gridded road layouts. I mean, I'll probably remove a lot of the trees, if not all of them, and just turn this into farmland at some stage, or I might not touch it. I think I said in the time-lapse that I might just leave it, or well, no, that was a different bit over here where it's behind all the hills and stuff, because you can't really see that from the city, so I mean, what is the point of me wasting my time detailing it if you're not going to see it? But yeah, that's about all I wanted to show you for this live play, so if you've enjoyed the video, leave a like, and if you want to see more of my videos, not all of them are focused on real road layouts, but actually build cities and stuff in most of them, subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell, that way you'll get notified whenever I upload a video. Next week's video should be from Fairview. We'll be working on more suburbs in that city. If you haven't watched that series before, it's an autumn city, so maybe go check that out, or just hang around here if you're watching the playlist, and the next episode will be up next. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.